What did she do afterward? And how do I know if there's no contact? Well, I'll tell you how, because she made damn sure I'd find out. That's how. I knew she was instinctively manipulative, but what I didn't know was that she was calculated and intentionally malicious. Not until closer to the end there. And then, it's what she did after. Now, for some time, I don't know. I have some ideas, considering a few things that happened, picked up on, but anyway. Now, she, let me describe her. Some of her more notable zombie-like characteristics. Big time into the zombie black magic, that one. Somewhat of a romantic Black Widow type, you could say. Now, actually, that might be a little too... more like a romantic funnel spider. Luring prey into a funnel web. Yeah, she's really good at this, and she knows it. She used to brag about it. With a rose-colored glasses kind of way. And me having a different worldview at that point, one that was almost apologistic about folks like this, as I'd grown up amongst them and so on and so forth. If you've heard in any of my other videos, if you haven't, if you want to know, they're out there. You can go get some insight information. Behind the music, VH1's behind the music. The Environomicon's behind the music. Well, no, that's not me. I'm not the Environomicon. I don't have a name in this equation. What would my name be in all this? Something out of Environomicon. What would it be? Nom, 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 nom. Viro, that's stupid. How about V? Yeah, if you go with that, I'm good with that. Yeah. Fucking A. Relatable, too. V. For vendetta. Not that I'm out for blood or anything, it's not like that. But, well, let's just say the character in that movie, in some ways, uniquely relatable to some things really are stranger than fiction. And it is what it is. But anyway, I don't know if we're going to stick with this V thing or not. We'll see. But I guess I do need to be called something, you know, later down the line. When folks start watching this. And more than a small handful. Yeah, anyway. What did my zombie do? Had some friendly acquaintances right down the road from where I live. Which, according to somebody who sent me a DM the other day, said, Jesus Christ, what's with all the crickets cricketeering in the background and all that shit? What's going on there? Do you live in a fucking swamp? Certainly sounds like it. Yeah, why not? I live in a swamp. So anyway, on the other side of the swamp, you know, less than a mile away, some friendly acquaintances. I had recently gone to see them. And it had been some time since the no contact thing went into play at this point. Funny thing, I had the strangest, almost compulsion to talk to them about this stuff and what I had experienced with my zombie. I never named her, by the way. I don't think I ever named her to anybody. Only those who were closest to me or that had met her personally, so they, because, you know, she was on a fucking watch list. You know what I mean? And I was looking out. For all involved. Self-included, of course, because that's what she was after. You know? I don't know what that was all about. got some message right then. Made me concerned that somebody's ears might have been ringing, and they might be. Whereas she's blocked on all platforms and contacts, you never know about the roundabouts and other phone numbers and God knows what else. I don't know, I'm not looking at the message. Looks a little sus. Yeah, funny timing, huh? Anyway, I had the strangest impulse to tell them about this stuff. And one of the weirdest things, as a married couple, by the way. And they seemed, to have a pretty good thing going as far as married couples go. At one point, the fella in the equation arches his eyebrow at me like, as I'm describing some of our characteristics. And I said to him, because actually we all went to high school together long ago. I said to him, don't worry, you're not in danger. Imagine my surprise when, like a month later, I'm at the grocery store, and who do I see there in an aisle, which would be you-know-who, with some guy. And I was just like, eee. I hope she didn't see me. But of course, I'm sure she did. Because this was a Hoover. She remembers, of course, that I used to go there a lot, especially that time of day. And this is a thing that zombies do, mind you. Stage these little accidental run-ins. In this case, it would have been probably to try to make me jealous. So I might break no contact. And contact her or something. Or she's probably thinking at that point something like, Jesus Christ, these planes always flying overhead. This is what it's like out here in the swamp, what can I tell you? But anyway, she's probably thinking something like, oh man, maybe if I can stir up some drama. Yeah. Make like a whirlwind of drama, a maelstrom. That'll start pulling him in. Even if I could just start a fight with him or something. That's my chance to get in there. Might be thinking, get in there. Well, what? Do what? Well, get control back. Get her supply back. That might just be for petty revenge. I don't know. To work her zombie black magic again. Get me into the shit, and then just discard me or something. I don't fucking know. And there's another thing to take into consideration with this whole no contact thing. Here's the thing. Zombies aren't used to people going no contact with them. They're used to being able to control the situation and keep you in that web of control somehow. It might be as a discard. You might get benched for a while. Could be a long time. You'll think, I'll never see the zombie again. There's a lot of folks out there who think that. I'm very sad because they got discarded. Give it time. But yeah, so zombies aren't used to this kind of thing going on. This sets something off in them. It sets off the zombie's internal spider, especially. The web weaver. And inner stalker. Of course, that's always going on with the zombie. But really gets activated in full force in these situations. And it's mostly, it's like a zombie ego thing or something. And beyond that, the zombie gets obsessed because it has to maintain control of its fantasy. and it experiences a great deal of discord and discomfort when that fantasy is not intact, and it will do anything. Well, maybe not anything. Well, I don't know. It depends on the zombie. It'll go far. There's some people on ye ol' interwebs, on a forum, talking about some of this stuff, talking about, just the topic of no contact. And a zombie snuck in there and interjected its 2 cents, which was, and I quote, "No contact is abuse." And that perked my ears right up, and I said, "Excuse me?" Now, you don't want to talk to zombies and all that, generally speaking, but, this is V with Tales from the Swamps. So, what are you going to do? And I don't remember exactly what I said, but it was something along the lines of, okay, so let me get this straight. You're held hostage by some kind of fucking lunatic and locked in the basement. And you finally figure out a way to get the hell out of there and get free and get far away. And that's abuse. And it replied, "No matter how you slice it, it's abuse." And I realized, aha, somebody broke this zombie's game. Somebody out there fucked up this zombie's fantasy. Good. And if you're feeling any sympathy or empathy for the zombies, which I understand, well, here's the thing. In a roundabout way, breaking down their fantasy could lead to a decompensation. And a decompensation is something that they would do in cold therapy to help a zombie become resurrected, if it's a kind that can actually do that. I don't know how many are, actually capable of being, quote, resurrected. Who knows? A lot of this is new information. Experimental. But anyway, we got a little sidetracked there. Let's get back to the supermarket at Vague Nameless Town Center and pick up where we left off with the lurid tales from the swamps. So anyway, getting the fuck out of there. I'm in the parking lot. I'm in my vehicle. And I look in the rearview mirror, as one does before backing up, ideally. What do I see in the rearview mirror? But there they are, not too far away. And I see this so theatrical little kiss scene. And I'm like, okay. Anyway, I kind of just hunker down in my seat and watch them get in the vehicle and go. And I'm thinking, why does that guy look so damn familiar? I thought there's no earthly way that is... I'm not going to use his name, so let's see, what's his name? How about Dan? Sure, let's go with Dan. Mysterious Dan. Witness Protection Dan. That's not his name. But anyway. So I messaged Dan the next day because I couldn't get it out of my head. I was like, there's no way that could be him. How could that be? He and his wife. Let's go with Claire. Why not? Dan and Claire. Infamous couple. Across the swamp. Anyway, so I messaged Dan. And I asked him, hey, you weren't in Vague Nameless Town Center last night, were you? Because, if you weren't, there's a guy that could have been your doppelganger, and he's hanging out with some company that I'd think twice about if I were him. But that's neither here nor there. Some time goes by. I check back later, and he got the message, and he usually responds pretty quick to the messages. So I thought, surely this cannot be. And I thought, just to be safe, I said, just in case that was you, I just think you should know that's who I was talking about when I was at your house. Some more time passes. I check it again, take a little break from work, look at it. Oh, he got the message long ago. I'm back to work and doing, whatever else, and the message comes in from Dan. It says, "Oh, hey V, yeah, my life took some pretty crazy twists and turns, and I saw you there at vague, nameless town center, and I wanted to say something, but blah blah blah. But who and I were nothing but happy together." And I thought, oh brother, you fucking idiot. I didn't say that. I responded, "Good luck. I hope you understand this means we can no longer be in contact. All the best. Be careful." I blocked him. That's what you gotta do. Anyway, I had a feeling what she was up to, given, what are the odds? And let us not forget, who was not in contact with these people. Who is a very reclusive creature. And doesn't exactly have the best reputation around the swamps. Yeah, sticking mostly to our own familial band of zombies and whatever prey here and there. As far as I know, I never even spoke about, the infamous couple on the other side of the swamp, because I didn't know they fucking lived over there. And I kind of had only talked to them a little bit a few years prior when I lived somewhere else entirely, because I haven't lived in the swamp for that long. And I certainly hadn't by that point. Now, this was almost a couple of years ago now, or a year and a half, something. Still involved. Still in the shit with that one. But I don't think I ever even mentioned Dan. I just, most of the folks I know who I stay in contact with, they're all over the damn place. I didn't know that the infamous couple on the other side of the swamp lived over there until sometime after going no contact with the zombie. And Dan reached out to me. And then that led to talking about doing some projects maybe, because Dan was something of a writer. When we started talking, he said, "Oh, we should hang out sometime." "Well, where you at?" And he told me. I was like, "Oh, Jesus Christ, that's right on the other side of the swamp." Well, all right then. That's worth crossing the dirty lake in the boat, getting on the road, driving to the other side of the swamp. So what I'm getting at is, what are the fucking odds that who just so happened to get in touch with them or whatever and ended up at their house, the house of Dan and his wife, Dan and Claire, infamous couple on the other side of the swamp. Or were. They were a couple. So yeah, what are the odds of that after me showing up there, inadvertently warning them about all this high strangeness? And then who just strolling on in. Oh, of course, it wouldn't have been strolling on in. It would have been some kind of opportunistic situation. More like slithering away in there. Ew. I know, it's a gross word. But hey, this is swamp talk. What are you going to do? Tales from the swamp. So yeah, anyway, so that's just another tidbit in all this unconventionality. Pretty sure that's not a word. Don't anybody get all, well, actually, V, that's not a word, you fucking idiot. Go read the encyclopedia, the dictionary, while you're in your little shitty, dirty little cabin in the swamp. And mind you, this is somebody who's think I already mentioned the romantic Black Widow type. Should see her Tinder requests or matches or whatever. Fucking hundreds of them. She used to boast about this kind of thing with the catfishing and all that. And don't get me wrong, she's attractive. And she's got a perfectly crafted profile and all that. Conveniently leaves out, the whole malignant, malicious zombie thing. I can't imagine why. But anyway, I got in touch with with Dan's wife a few days later. Again, I didn't want to get involved, and I knew I shouldn't have, but I just needed to know. I needed to know. I needed some information. I also felt obligated to give her some understanding about what she's dealing with. Because this is not something that people understand. They haven't dealt with it. They really don't get it. But anyway, yeah, she told me a few things, and I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. She's pulling out all the stops with him. What a fucking idiot. I mean, I didn't have any warning with the zombie. Dan did. Dan got a lot of warnings. He got warned from his wife, too, after bringing her home. And apparently he knew right off the bat. He brought her home. He said, oh, this is the zombie that V was talking about. And his wife was like, well, what the fuck are you doing bringing her around here for? This bitch got literal foreshadowing from V. But anyway, ultimately, it's a problem with this no contact stuff. It gets to a point where you just can't be involved with anybody connected with the zombie's whirlwind. Because it's got a gravitational pull. That's the zombie black magic. And it can be something of a slow indoctrination process as well. You're getting hollowed out from the inside out. A shell of your former self. One day you don't recognize yourself in the mirror anymore. When your life has been on the decline for a while. Maybe the paint's peeling off the walls too. Some kind of Stranger Things, poltergeisty type stuff. I won't get into that right now. Now, low key, in a way. Anyway, I'm not going to get into it. One of the many little excuses and conveniences added into this equation with the zombie being with Dan down the road is the zombie can drive by my house a lot more often than it already was, especially late at night. I mean, that's the thing, you can't even see my house from the driveway because I live in the swamp, remember? I mean, my God, first you gotta cross the moat into the dirty boat. You get in the dirty boat and go in the dirty lake. You get to the swamp. You get to the swamp, you get to my dirty little cabin by the tree, It's quite a debacle for navigating and so forth. But I have been wandering outside the perimeter a few times, and I've seen her in her vehicle. Pretty damn sure. I mean, I'd say it's like a 9.9 out of 10 odds. And then a few times seeing me wandering around and then driving off like a bat out of hell. Anyway, I'm not trying to suggest that she went and did all this just to get my attention or get back at me or whatever. Zombie logic. I mean, that's a big part of it. But of course, she's also getting the other benefits, which is supply, fuel from Dan, and a place to hang out. Sit around and watch TV, do drugs, have sex. Ugh. Sorry for that mental image. Ugh. But hey, this is swamp talk, Lurid tales from the swamps. And also to destroy something beautiful. A marriage. Because for all intents and purposes, it seemed like Dan and Claire had a pretty damn good thing going, especially as far as marriages go. V over here is not big on the whole marriage thing, personally, so, you know. But anyway. So I'm not exactly one to give it any rave reviews, regardless of the situation, nevertheless. But anyway, yeah, she's been at this ruse for, I don't know, a few months now or something. I'm sure it isn't going well for Dan, but he's in the shit. Wrapped up in zombie black magic. That's the thing, you can't really make so much heads or tails of it until you get out. That's when you can see it a lot clearer. Even if you know about this kind of thing. So, you know, it could take a lot to really, more thoroughly wake you up. And when you do, then you really pay attention to a lot of details and so-called red flags. But they're not red flags. They're not blaring, oh, that's well, stay away from that. It's more like a black flag. Because it flies under the radar. Getting lost in all the zombie black magic. So, this is another episode of V's Lurid Tales from the Swamp. Well, it's the first episode of V's Lurid Tales from the Swamp. From my swamp to your part of the fucking topographical what-the-fuck-ever is going on in your neck of the woods. And thanks for tuning in. Until next time. This is hot shit out here in the swamp. This is how we rock out here in the swamps. Wait for that breakdown.